Sure, sure. All right, Joseph. I'm getting pressure from the team. You're through the second round of interviews, and we can't put this off any longer. Now, what salary range are you expecting for this position?
Yeah, could I have a second to think about it? Hi, could we do 1,000? So, I'm coming up on 2 years as an electrical engineer. And in that time I got 3 job offers, gone through 9 rounds of interviews, made a plethora of mistakes, and learned a ton. But today's video is about my #1 biggest regret throughout the entire experience. And actually, this happened before I even stepped foot in my first office. So stay to the end to hear how I miss out on thousands of dollars and ensure you'll never make this mistake like I did. And with that, let's get right into it. So, my story actually begins way back in the senior year of college when I sent out about 40 applications and finally received my first job offer. The job was set up in the illustrious Silicon Valley, where I'd work with an inspiring and talented team as an NPI engineer to basically transition radio frequency products like amplifiers from the design phase to the manufacturing phase on the production floor. Needless to say, I was super excited to receive my first offer after so many years of pain and suffering through school, grading, tutoring, technicianship, and even club work as a sub-team lead and president. Finally, I had a big boy job offer to show for all of that hard work. But there was a problem. At first, it was just a little problem, a tiny little notification on my phone. But what could even be so problematic? I was on top of the world, and all my hard work was about to pay off, right? Well, a second company way down in San Diego finally got back to me from an earlier application expressing their interest. And without knowing it, they threw my perfectly calculated plan of my first years out of college right into the blender. Before this, I was 100% confident that I found the perfect position to catapult me into a long, successful career. So, seeing as I was perfectly happy with this first job offer, close to my friends and family, and my homework was already really piling up from the first interview process, I did exactly what anyone would do in this situation. I accepted the long interview process, put my responsibilities off even more to study my butt off day and night to get more interview experience and keep my options open. So naturally, the next steps were the long battles of interviews. I was fighting to come up with answers on everything from the IP3 point of amplifiers to using Smith charts to intermodulation distortion to noise figure in a receive chain and more. But thankfully, I only walked out with a few scars, winning each battle, and actually felt pretty good about the interview process. Oh, and by the way, did I mention this company has a slide? Yes, like a real indoor slide at a tech company. It's pretty crazy. Kind of blew my mind. Anyways, slide aside, at this stage of the interview, the company was putting a lot of pressure on me. They were really hyped on me as a prospect, but also had other good candidates. And at this stage in the interview process, they couldn't really wait any longer and asked me the question that I kept dreading. It went something like this.
Sure. All right, Joseph. I'm getting pressure from the team. You're through the second round of interviews, and we can't put this off any longer. Now, what salary range are you expecting for this position?
Hi, could we do 80,000?
Sure, we can definitely do that.
Man, that was one of the worst, best moments in my life. On one hand, I knew they were going to give me the job offer, but on the other, right when she said that, I knew that they were prepared to offer me more money. Knowing that, you might ask, Joe, if you knew they were going to offer you more money, why wouldn't you just say something during the call? To which I would say, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what the standard pay was for a prospect like myself. I didn't know how to negotiate for myself, and I was just trying to make it out of each Zoom call alive. So let's recap. In this moment, I am faced with 2 offers. They basically have the same pay, similar benefits, one close to my family in Silicon Valley, and one with better beaches, surf, company culture, volleyball courts, and a slide. Now, with everything you've learned about me in these few short minutes, I'm gonna have you guess which job I picked. If you think I chose the cool company culture, surf, volleyball court, slide company, then like and subscribe. And if you think I chose the Silicon Valley... Alright, sorry to stop it right there. You and I both know I took these slide jobs, so like and subscribe to confirm your answer or forever be cursed with bad career luck. Alright, back to the video. That was rude, but he's right. I did take the slide offer in sunny San Diego. Now, of course, I've had a ton of fun moving here and I 100% don't regret my choice. But I made a huge mistake in the process which cost me thousands of dollars and to this day is my biggest regret in my engineering career. Can you guess what it is? Let me give you a little hint. I don't know if you noticed, but I got lowballed by both companies. I mean, when I told the Silicon Valley company that I was choosing the other one, they told me on the phone, is it the money? 'Cause we can offer you more money. Which somehow I didn't recognize was the perfect opportunity to set up a healthy little salary battle between the two companies to incentivize me to choose theirs. Now, if you thought this couldn't get any worse, oh no, it could. Let me show you how much money I left on the table and how life really smashed this lesson into my head. I had a coworker who started work about a year after I did. And this guy was a great prospect. I learned later he had our company and another company fight for his full-time position. Whereas I had years of tutor experience, solid GPA, cool side projects, internship experience, and was the president and sub-team lead of the Satellite Club. To remind you, my accepted offer was for $80K base salary, and my man, totally deserving by the way, rolled up almost a year later and got $100K right off the bat. Once he shared that with me, I realized how much I messed up. So you can see why this is my biggest regret. A couple more minutes of salary negotiation preparation, and I would have walked away with I would have $25,000 more in my pocket right now after the 2 years. And if you want to figure out the ROI on those few minutes, please do so and hurt me in the comments. I probably deserve it. And what hurts every day is that was my starting baseline at the company. And so each year I could get a raise, but it wouldn't get much higher than where I started. And companies like this typically don't just give you a massive raise. It just doesn't happen in our field. So after 5 years of 5% salary increases, my coworker would have ended up at $127,000, whereas I would just be crossing the $100,000 a year benchmark. Something that, if we're looking at accolades and job titles, I should have been at 5 years prior to that, which is crazy. But wait, there is another way. In our field, do you know how we get a large salary boost and skip years of time all at once? Well, I did that. Welcome to San Francisco, California. So if you want to hear about my new salary and how I negotiated a 50% raise working for a sick satellite startup, like and subscribe for the next video. Now thanks for watching and happy engineering, everybody.
Mission. Go Falcon, go strong.